Hey team, I wanted to give you all a little bit of a walkthrough of the course just so you can get an overview of what we're going to be covering for the next 12 weeks and where you can find certain resources. My view looks a little different than yours, so you're going to see some things on here that you don't see on yours on your end, but just for going over the class, everybody knows about the announcements. Please do read them. I post important information in there. One thing I did post to clarification of discussion board expectations. Number 6, take charge, take a whack at moderating and earn 25 bonus points. The function of the moderator is to create the question and kind of supervise the discussion, but also to shape the discussion by introducing certain questions or pointing out another topic for conversation. It's not a ton of work, and you do get the 25 bonus points for it. I haven't gotten any takers yet, so I'm hoping that you all will step in, and anytime you can earn free points, I highly encourage you to do it. I do not give bonus points at the end of the term. I don't curve. I don't do that sort of stuff. So if you're interested at all in being a discussion board moderator, please let me know which unit you would like to do that in. So over here you can see announcements. We have unit 1 and 2. You've already been through that, and it looks like everyone did everything they needed to do. I want to say one quick thing. The checklist, I do this for every unit. Occasionally the checklist is not at the very top, and that is because when you embed either podcast or video into a unit, for some reason Blackboard doesn't like it, and then you can't move things around. So as you can see here, I can, well, now it won't do it, but generally I can move this to another location. Like I can drop it down 1 or drop it down 2, but when there's embedded videos, which there are, and there's an embedded podcast, it just makes that difficult. So if you open up the unit and it's not the first thing you see, don't panic. It's there somewhere. It just may be towards the bottom of the list of things to do in that unit. So let's go to Unit 3, which is where we are now. This is our ethics. I did a little bit of updating here. So your extra required readings are here, but they're also posted to additional readings. I updated the link for the Milgram video. The one that I had on there was outdated, and the tea room trade you can read about, and then the Zimbardo study can be found here. And as of 15 minutes ago, both of these links work. You need to respond to the discussion board in this unit. You need to complete the ethics activity, and you need to listen to the podcast on privacy and synthetic data. So this is your activity here. It is due by June 3rd at 11:59. The activity itself is attached, and once you complete it, you can upload it through this link here. This is the podcast, and this is our discussion for the week. This is the full documentary on the Milgram experiment. It is very, very interesting, as is the documentary on the Zimbardo prison study, or just the Stanford prison study as it's usually called. So it's required that you look at them because you'll need to be able to respond to one of these research studies that really drove the Belmont report and the regulations that we have now from the federal level. Research in all disciplines, including criminal justice, is now regulated at the federal level through the Department of Health and Human Services. There are usually state requirements as well as university requirements as well about what you can and cannot do in research. The ethical bottom line is that you cannot hurt research participants, whether that participant be a dog, a mouse, a human, an organization, a building, a street, whatever the study is about. You need to do minimal harm, and the potential benefits that you gain from the research have to outweigh the potential harm. You also cannot You cannot deceive research participants unless there are very, very strict criteria that are met. And I'm sure you learned all about that in your city training. Biomedical research is really its own thing. You obviously can harm research participants in biomedical research. Just think of the newest cancer drug. That newest cancer drug got on the market because half of the people in that study got absolutely nothing, which is also called a placebo. So these are end-stage cancer patients. This is their last shot, and half of them and they didn't know whether they were getting the treatment or not getting the treatment. Half of them got nothing. So clearly that's harm. But our criteria for harm are nowhere near that liberal. We have protected classifications in criminal justice, and we have to be very careful about how we think about our research and how we protect people who may be engaged in activities or done things that they are not necessarily proud of and don't necessarily want to revisit. So this is Unit 3. Just to take you through, here's Unit 4, 5. This is about your midterm proposal. So your big project for this class is going to be a research proposal. The goal is to get you to a product that you can then turn into an applied research paper or a thesis. So I'm trying to give you something very usable that you can pick up in other classes and add to, especially statistics. And when you're done, you'll have essentially the first 2 or 3 chapters of your thesis or your applied research paper done. There's no busy work in this class. Everything that we do is to reinforce concepts and to get you to a really solid research proposal, because that then feeds into either the thesis or the applied research paper. So all the units are actually set up. I don't show them ahead of the unit. I don't want people working out of sequence, because some of the information is much more difficult to kind of weed through and work through than others, and I don't want you to, just pick a unit and think, oh, I really don't want to take this class anymore. So we go through things in sequence, and I don't open those units up until it's the time for the actual unit. Some things that everyone has access to: the research proposal. Here I'm just trying to give you as many resources as humanly possible on how to write a research proposal. A literature review is part of that, so that's here. There's some videos. There are links to Dr. Copeland's YouTube channel where he talks about this. Here you have example research proposals. You have AP format directions, AP format template, how to write a research paper. So there's lots of extra materials here to help you with that assignment. Other resources that you have here in the class, you have learning resources. This is just your syllabus, institutional review board information. Depending on what you decide to do for your final product, whether that's an applied research paper or a thesis, it may have to go to the institutional review board. That is the board in charge of ensuring that we meet all of our ethical standards in our field. Applied research paper and thesis, these are all the manuals and guidelines that you'll need for either one of those. Writing and citing, please look around through here. There's a really nice presentation on how to write, how to cite, especially using APA format. I do not accept anything in this class that is not in proper APA format. APA is in its 6th edition, and my recommendation to all of you is that you just go buy the manual. It costs about $10, and I pull mine out about once a week. But that's because I'm used to working with like physical books. Nowadays you can go to Purdue Owl or a dozen other websites and click in as what you need to know, and it'll take you right to the page. It'll show you exactly how to cite things. And then there is a basic video. It is quite dated on how to use Turnitin. The only time we use Turnitin in this course is when you're submitting your research proposals. So that's it for resources. You have additional readings. Everything that you have to read is in here. You don't have to read all of this. If there's an additional reading assigned to a unit, I usually post it in that unit so that you have it just right there and you don't have to go to additional readings. You can also access all discussion board threads through this link right here, class roster. I get this all the time. People open it and they go, it doesn't say anything. Just click go and it'll bring up everyone in the class. Course calendar, this is updated regularly when I put in new assignments, so make sure you check that. If you need help with Blackboard, you can click that link. There's tons of tutorials. All of the course PowerPoints are here for you. Please understand that this is proprietary material. That means someone wrote it and they own the copyright to it. And Tarleton State University is very, very, very serious about copyright infringements. What that means for you in this class is that you can access the PowerPoints for use in this course. You may not share those PowerPoints with anyone. If you do, you are violating the TSU policy on copyright, and that is actually grounds for dismissal. So do not disseminate the PowerPoints. They are there for your convenience. I'll be doing probably audio walkthroughs of each unit to give you some additional materials. So that's essentially what you're going to see. That's how the class is structured. If you have any questions, you can let me know. As I mentioned in my intro video, the easiest way to reach me is a phone call, email. You're looking at about 24 to 48 hours. If I haven't responded to an email that you've sent me in 3 days, please follow up because it just got pushed down to the bottom of the pile and I lost track of it. So this is the course. I am really, research methods is my wheelhouse. I love it. I'm a researcher. I'm so excited about it. Every project to me is like, it's like a buffet. They're all interesting. They're all fun. They're all their own little puzzle that you have to figure out. The hardest part about the class is not necessarily that the content is especially difficult. It's that we're really learning a new language, and you have to get used to that language, which is why we have the little activities so that you can be practicing. And each of those activities reinforces a concept that you will have to use in your research proposal. So that's the overview of the class. Welcome everyone to Unit 3, and I will be posting more soon.